Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2006's Cold Prey, which was directed by Roar Utog. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
What a name. His first name is Roar, like a lion.
Roar. Well, this movie's actually Fritt Wild in Norwegian or whatever.
I know.
It's kind of a cooler name than Cold Prey. It has a nice ring to it.
If that was the title, I feel like in 2006, nobody in America would see it, though. Just Fritt Wild. Nobody would know what it is.
How's his name spelled? Is it like R-O-A-R?
His name is R-O-A-R, Roar.
Like actual lion roar.
Yeah. And then they also had your name, Eric. His name was like Erik.
Yeah, but you see, they spelled it like E-I-R-I-K.
Yeah, I-K. No, yeah, it's I-K, yeah.
I didn't see a C in there, so I'm like, all right, it still passes.
It's like Erik.
No C's in Eric, just K's.
Oh, my God.
For cool.
Yeah, so this movie, I did not love this movie.
Okay.
Did you?
I mean, it was good. It was quick. It was nothing new or anything special, but it was a decent horror film. I mean, that's what it's trying to be. It's not trying to be anything amazing, but it has like it's good qualities. It's the standard, right?
Dude, it's boring.
There's times when I was like, yeah.
Dude, this brought nothing new to the genre.
Nothing new. Nothing new.
All. Like, we just did, what was it, Dead Snow or whatever 3 weeks ago. That was like, okay, Nazi zombies. Right. Literally the same setup as this movie. Norwegian kids going skiing and snowboarding. They go into a house and then shit starts happening. It's like the same thing. But that movie, I mean, it's not a masterpiece, but at least it did stuff. It had cool kills and like funny jokes.
That one was more humor too, and it had definitely a bigger budget, and it also came out afterwards. But I think this probably paved the way for Dead Snow to be made. If I had to take it was like the best movie in Norway, or like one of the top movies in Norway in like 2000 whatever. This movie?
Yeah. It was the 9th highest film of the year in Norway. Whoop-de-doo.
I mean, that's cool.
All right, I'm sure the director calling his mom was like, guess what? And yes, that is cool in that moment.
And there's 2 sequels. Come on. There's a fan base out there. We're trying. We're at the Wheel of Horror, Alec. We have to like cater to people.
No, I'm just being honest. Like, yeah, it's not like a bad movie. Like they clearly like tried. Like, you know, you don't see like a boom mic in it, and it's edited fine. But like, the plot is just so by the numbers boring. And I'm not even kidding. Literally nothing happens for the first 45 minutes. Like nothing.
I mean, except like the opening sequence with the kid with the face mark or whatever, birthmark, I think it is.
Yeah, they do like a little Jean-Benet Ramsey nod in the beginning where the parents are like, I don't know what happened to him, I don't know. And then that's it. And then for the next 40 minutes, it's just this group of teens, I don't even know, not being funny even, just like making out, sitting in a fucking car in the cabin, doing cool snowboarding montages. Dude, there's just, I don't know.
Were you in a bad mood today when you watched it or whenever you watched it?
No, I watched it like a couple days ago, but...
Were you in a bad mood a couple days ago?
No, it was just it was just boring. I don't know.
I don't hear that a lot from you. That's why I'm saying that, you know. I guess you're right. I'm thinking of it, like I watched some of it last night and some of it this morning, and yeah, I mean there's moments where it's like slow, but it's building up the suspense a little bit. But I gotta ask you this. Without spoiling the ending right now, we'll get into the whole plot. Did you predict the twist or reveal at the end completely? Or was it like, I thought something was going to happen?
I figured it out like right when she pulled his mask off. Like before I saw the scar, I was like, oh, it's going to be the kid. And then pulls the mask off, he's got the scar. But up until that point, I was just like, and either way, I would have just been like, okay, like great. Yeah, sure. Did you?
I thought that he was going to be the killer, yeah.
I forgot about the kid.
Show a picture of him when they get to the cabin or the hotel, I guess. Right. The hotel for the first time. They like go through like a guest book.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, something's with this kid. And you kind of put that together. Like, well, we don't see this guy's face. So this is probably like the kid grown up. But I didn't suspect that he was going to get killed by his parents. I thought there'd be a little bit more. So I didn't predict the twist either. I just had a feeling that kid was going to mean something.
All right, so we'll just give away the ending because it doesn't...
Yeah, we just did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But basically, at the end, we figure out that the killer the whole time has been the little boy that was being chased in the beginning, and his parents did kill him, and, well, we thought, and then he survived, lived in this hotel, and then kills everybody that comes to the hotel. That's the whole point of the thing. Why? Like Jason, okay, he was drowned by camp counselors or whatever, so he kills the camp counselors. That makes sense. Freddy Krueger, he goes after the children of the parents that killed him. That makes sense. Michael Myers going after his sister, I guess, kind of, but then is just the embodiment of evil. That makes sense. Why is this guy killing everybody that comes into his thing? Why isn't he trying to get help?
He's a lunatic because his parents tried to kill him, so he's snapped.
I don't know.
He let the darkness in, and he's, if they're trying to kill me, I'm gonna kill anyone else who comes here.
So how does he survive out there? He doesn't go into town?
Hell no, he's not gonna survive. Are you kidding me? Kid's gonna freeze to death as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. He was a little kid that somehow found this abandoned hotel, then survived in the abandoned hotel for 30 plus years, and then he doesn't eat the people because you see him throwing them down the cliff or whatever. So he's not a cannibal. So how the fuck does he live?
Well, clearly he has clothes made out of furs and stuff, so he probably hunts.
How does he know how to do that? How does he even know how to do it? Eric, if you were 8 years old, I don't even know how to hunt now, okay? But imagine you're 8 years old and you have no one to teach you how to hunt. You don't just magically learn how to hunt.
Like the winter and the cold. Yeah, no, that's not easy. And we don't never find out what happened to his parents. So it's like, okay, so they just buried him and left and...
Yeah, he could have gone and got revenge.
It's a little loose.
Maybe, but we don't know. They don't say anything. And the characters are just disposable idiots. They're all just making out. You've got the one virgin girl and her boyfriend, Mikael and Ingen or whatever.
Ingen. And
they're just hooking up the whole time. There's a little bit of drama, and this is basically when the movie starts. They're having sex, and he's trying to have sex with her. He's like, come on. And she's like, no. So he thinks that she doesn't like him, and he just bails on her, and then she immediately gets killed. So yeah. I felt bad obviously for her, but for him too, because he's probably, if he survived, he would just be like, fuck, that was really fucked up what I did.
Yeah, it was extremely bad, but yeah, exactly. That's exactly when the movie starts, technically.
Yeah.
Right, it's about the 45-minute mark, so...
I checked. It is.
So, no, I mean, it picks up. It goes fast from there. There's some cool parts after that.
What? Actually, try to convince me how to like this movie. Help me.
Well, they find that one shotgun shell, and they have to, and she finds a gun, and she realizes, oh, I could, get the shell back and use the gun, and we have one bullet. And then I like the scene when he's about to open the door, and it's Eric, and the friend who broke his leg has to, stop her from accidentally shooting Eric, even though he dies a second later. I thought that was kind of well done. I really did.
I mean, why was Eric alive? Why did he keep him alive?
I don't know. But, there was that shot, though, of, him getting hit with the pickaxe, and he hit him on the side with the pickaxe. He didn't hit him with the full edge. So there's stuff that was well done, but, I mean...
Dude, I thought he hit him in the face, it looked like, but... Yeah, he kills Ingen, then attempts to kill Eric, somehow doesn't do it, leaves his unconscious body in the house for hours or whatever. Then later in the movie, he tries to kill the final girl too, and he does the same fucking thing. He hits her, she has no sign of a wound, and she's just knocked unconscious. Dude, I was getting pissed off watching this.
That's fun. I mean, I was interested in it, and I wanted to do winter movies, and I read nothing but good things about this movie for the budget it had.
What was the budget?
It has to be under $1 million. It has to be.
I can't find it. I can only see the box office made 3.7.
Yeah. So I thought it was not trying to be anything. It's not. It's a decent horror film. There's some really cool shots. Classic slasher, big person with his face covered. What do you think of the dubbing, though? You're someone who does voice acting, and you've dubbed foreign films before. Was it cringe to you? Was it not well done? What did you think?
Dude, that's the thing. I hate this movie because of the plot, but I'm also going to shit on it for the post-production value. Yeah, the dubbing was bad. Didn't match up. The voices, I don't know, they just didn't match what was going on in the situation, it felt like. And the other thing is, I do so many foreign films where I watch the film and I'm watching it at my other job for like English and then making sure that there's a translated forced subtitle. This movie didn't have translated forced subtitles into English. So we're watching a dubbed movie where they're looking at newspaper clippings and stuff like that, and it's all in Norwegian. And I'm like, this movie doesn't even give a fuck, dude. Like, they're not translating things for us. The dubbing is bad. Like, I don't know, man. I was mad at this movie.
The jokes are they fall pretty flat, especially what was the one where it's like, oh, I should have got you a bucket last night, and he just goes, you're a bucket, and I'm like, what?
I couldn't think of any jokes in this movie. I can't think of one.
I mean, it's not like, I mean, Dead Snow was subtitles only. They didn't have the dubbing. So I think the dubbing in this film definitely took away from the seriousness of it, I guess. And I think Dead Snow, the way they did it, was better than this. That's my take.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen amazing dubs. I've seen terrible dubs. This is kind of on the terrible side. I mean, they've noticeably gotten better. I mean, like in the 60s and 70s, it's fucking awful. But throughout the 90s, it started getting better. And now it's pretty good. I mean, granted, this got dubbed in 2006 or 7 or whenever. So, yeah, it's rough. I don't know. I just thought the kills weren't good. Like, there weren't any even... I can't think of any, dude. What, like, seriously, can you think of one kill in this movie? I feel like they were all off screen. Like, it was like
the first one with the Enid, or what was her name again?
Injun.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was pretty well done. She's crawling. She's like just moments away from getting a hold of her boyfriend who's just drinking at the bar. Like, why aren't you screaming, or why aren't they hearing this? That was my thing. But I thought that kill was pretty good. I thought Eric's kill was pretty well done, but kind of pointless because he survived this whole time, and then he just stabs right through him. The kid with the broken leg, not the best kill. There was a broken neck scene, too, with the other guy who was the boyfriend.
Yeah, he snapped his neck.
Yeah, I mean, the kills were okay. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, gory, or great, but I don't know. And I was kind of bothered by... The kid has a compound fracture, which is when the bone breaks through the skin.
Yeah.
And he's walking on it the next day. Hell to the F no, dude. Hell to the F no. He's not walking on it.
He got shit-faced, and then they gave him Tylenol, and then the next day he's, limping on a leg that was out of the skin.
And they got it like held together by like a stick and some rope, and they super glued it. So A, that's going to get so infected. B, he just drank alcohol, so that's probably going to bleed a lot anytime he moves. So... Yeah, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, this guy, they're going to kill him off. There's no way he's surviving. But
well, it was good to keep him alive because it added some tension at least. It's like, oh, well, we've got to take care of this guy that can't really run. So, like, at least that added a little bit.
True, where it's like, we don't want to leave him behind, even though there was that scene, like, let's leave him. Remember with the other guy?
That guy. That was the other thing I didn't like. I liked his character. And then right then, it's like, wait, why did he just do a 180 and it's like, fuck my friends, fuck everybody, I'm out of here. Totally. I don't know. I didn't like that character motivation.
He definitely was like I didn't like him that much. I thought, because he was pushy with what's her name. And then, and he's just drinking at the bar instead of apologizing. And I don't know. It was, I didn't like him that much. So I wasn't like sad when he died. He had a terrible death though. He got stuck in a bear trap and it's like, oh, that sucks.
Well, okay, 2 things about him. The one scene where he, like, runs from the killer and climbs on the roof really quick and then sees the killer and then, like, goes back. Why didn't he run then? Why didn't he just... Because he was going to run anyways. So it's like, why not just go, as you know for a fact the killer is going back into the house and he doesn't see you. Go then. But he didn't do that.
Or grab a pickaxe and hop back on that roof and wait for him again. Because
anything.
He looked like he wasn't looking up at all. So that's my way of taking out this guy.
Okay. The other thing is, there's the scene when Mika, right after the scene, he comes back to the room, and you've got Yannick and Morten, and they're sitting in that room. He comes in there, and they all barricade the door, and then you hear the killer smashing on the door. And then the killer just walks away. There was no reason for the killer to leave. He knew where they were, and he just leaves. So then Mikhail gets up, and he's like, all right, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm out of here. Like, whatever. Why the hell did the killer leave right then, dude? That was the moment where I was like, wait.
Yeah, that didn't add up. It's like, why would he go after 1 when he has 2?
He knew all of them were in that room after Mikhail came back. And you see them, like, they put the chests up against the door, and he's smashing on the door, and then he just walks away. I lost it then.
Well, maybe he's going to the shed to get a weapon.
Oh,
that's the only explanation.
God. All right, the other thing is, Mikhail, right after that, he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here, Morton, whatever. He then runs and falls in the bear trap. What was his plan? He's in like a fucking t-shirt, dude. Like, how far is he gonna make it? He was running. He goes in the shed to see if he can find anything. He didn't have a jacket. He didn't have anything, and they knew they couldn't get to a car. It was gonna take a long time. He was gonna die before the killer would have gotten to him if he ran out in the snow like that.
At the very least, severe frostbite.
Ugh.
Severe frostbite.
Yeah.
I don't know what is close by. It doesn't seem like there's anything close by. So yeah. So this is a hotel. It's there's a lot of things I felt familiar. Dead Snow definitely.
Yeah.
Like I got a little sense of The Shining with the hotel.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Absolutely, that was gonna be the next thing I said. Exactly, Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, they did shots right out of it. Like, you know,
Yep.
when she wakes up and the shot's over her head and like she's looking back. Yeah, that was right out of it.
Well, just getting hit with a pickaxe in the back, like that's straight out of Texas Chain.
Yeah.
If they had a door slam, like the famous scene is hitting her with that thing and then pulling her, dragging her in, which he does. He drags her on the floor, but then the iconic Texas Chainsaw door slam, you know, with the metal door.
Yeah, yeah.
If they did that, I'd be like, okay, that's a direct ripoff. But it was kind of like that, but not too much of the same.
Well, I wanted to ask you too if you noticed another little horror nod. The music, I'm pretty sure is Phantasm. Like, listen to the score. It is
Very similar, right?
It's a lot like the Phantasm score. So I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, I guess if you wanted to see what Jason would be like in the snow, I guess it's like that. But even he's got an ice pick. That's his weapon or whatever. That's from fucking My Bloody Valentine. It's like the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't feel like Hatchet where it's like, okay, like we're clearly nodding to 80s horror. Like this just felt like it was like, oh, like maybe we'll trick people if we do enough tropes all at once. I don't know, man.
I think if we saw this instead of Dead Snow in like the last 5 weeks or so when we did Dead Snow, I think you might appreciate it more. But it really is like the same movie as Dead Snow. It's too similar, where you can't appreciate it as much, especially after just recently seeing Dead Snow.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Snow's Nazi zombies. This is just some random.
It's the same thing. Those teenage snowboarders, you know, abandoned area where it's hard to get help. It's the same movie, except it's not humorous.
Those characters, like, you know, here's the thing. Every horror slasher movie, the teenagers still say funny things to each other. Like, Scream is a good example. But Dead Snow, I didn't even know it was a comedy until halfway through. Because, you know, I'm like, okay, this is what I expect. Like, kind of funny, shitty jokes or whatever. This movie didn't have any of that.
Hot take for me. I think this is better than Dead Snow.
What?
For what it is, coming out before Dead Snow, having a more coherent plot than Dead Snow. Dead Snow, there's times when I was like, what? Really didn't make any sense. Especially with the whole coin / finding the treasure box and like, what's the point of the gold? The plot wasn't as coherent, where this made more sense, and I kind of liked the ending. I thought it was a cool reveal at the end, and I appreciate it trying to give you like that oh moment, but it kind of missed it, but it was still kind of cool.
If it didn't, like, honestly, if it ended with her skiing away and getting hit and going black, I would have been like, yep, all right, that's what I expected. But yeah, I guess the little tidbit at the end was like, hey, remember the kid from the beginning? That's him. That was him the whole time. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I kind of wanted her to tackle him off the ledge, and then there's all the dead bodies, like all her friends and her. Yeah. And then we see him get up or something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure, I don't know anything. I cannot believe there's a sequel to this, but there's
two sequels. There's two.
I know.
How?
I don't know.
This is the 9th greatest Norwegian. Like, what is it again?
It's the 9th highest grossing Norwegian film in 2006.
I mean, I'm impressed.
I mean, hey. I guess the thing is just like, I wanted it to be something better than it was. Like, I was rooting for it, I guess. You know, I was just like, okay, it's pretty paint by numbers, group of teenagers, isolated area, there's a killer. I just felt like it offered nothing new, and by the end of it, I was just like mad at the characters for their decisions that they were making, confused by the killer's decisions. You're right. It is more straightforward than Dead Snow. There's not some like, why is there a curse? Like, what? Why are Nazis back? Yeah, this is much more straightforward than that.
Yeah, like, why are Nazis back before the curse even starts? Like, what? Like,
yeah, there's definitely, that one's definitely more like grandiose for sure. This one though, I was just bored, and I was like, there's so many better movies I could be watching that are doing a much better version of this.
Yeah. Do you think if it was subtitles, it would help you out more without the dubbing? I think that would have helped you out.
I mean,
if
maybe.
you were like forced to read it.
I mean,
probably
maybe.
would feel more real than. It just got cringy at times. What was the other one where she like gives him a can, like she's gonna go run off and like get a gun or something, and she gives him like a can of like tuna. It's like,
Yeah.
Just memorize this. I was like, what?
That was so, yeah, read this. I mean, it'll distract you from the killer and your horribly broken leg.
This guy is not 5. Like,
I know. Dude, you know what was the awkwardest dubbing moment, which it was just awkward in general, is when he's like, she's like, I know, Morton, I know.
what was he gonna say? I love you?
I like you, or something like that. I'm assuming, it's like the Rise of Skywalker thing. They never tell us what Finn was going to say. We don't know.
Yeah, oh God, don't bring that movie up.
So anyway, so it's just like same thing. He's just like, and she's just like, I know, Martin. And then she goes out and gets a shock. It's just, I don't know.
And then her boyfriend's alive, so he's like, God, I really wish I didn't say that.
Yeah, she's like, oh, Eric, you back?
He's probably like, oh, shit. Like,
Whatever. I think they're more concerned about the guy who's trying to kill them, but...
Yeah.
Like Jason, I know, it's like, well, he was also like an 8-year-old who lived in the woods and became a big, strong guy. But the thing is...
The big, strong guy.
I believe it more because it's in America and it's in New Jersey and he's not in the middle of like a mountain in Norway. Like, I just believe it more that he could find food or maybe somebody would help him out or something like that. Like, New Jersey's not that big. It's not that rural. So
Yeah.
I believe that more. But this, he was just like dumb too. Like, the guy has a shotgun. They shoot it. I mean, does this guy know for a fact? He's like, oh yeah, I remember I left that one shotgun in the shed and there's only one bullet that I dropped on the floor. I know for a fact there's only one. Like, why did he just keep walking and assuming they weren't going to shoot?
I don't think he knew that. I don't think he knew. Because what's his name was pointing the gun at him, and I think he was like, I'm going to get shot. Unless...
Yeah, so why'd he keep walking towards him, though, thinking he doesn't have another bullet?
I don't know. No, I mean, it is what it is with this movie. It's good, it's quick, nothing new. We've been through that already.
Make it a short film.
Just crazy, the same cliches we see in every film. Obviously, the blonde girl who gets killed, like, you gotta show her butt every 2 seconds before she dies. Like, that was kind of cringy, too, when it's, like, just close-ups of her butt, like, half the time, remember?
Well, that's, like, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, this was, like, she has a whole back of her head you could show, and they're, like, not even, they're just showing her butt, like, running. Yeah. It was like,
I mean, my suggestion for this movie is make it, I know, crazy, but make it, like, 80 minutes long at max. Cut out a good chunk at the beginning and really give each character their own distinct thing. And then otherwise, I guess, leave the last 45 minutes the same, I guess. But, I don't know, make the kills a little bit more interesting, make the character decisions a little bit more interesting. I guess my last thing, too, is, do you ever think that the guy, because he sets up these bear traps all over, under the snow. So, do you think he ever, like, accidentally steps on one? Like, he doesn't ever really know where they are.
Yeah, probably.
It's not like grass.
I mean, especially like one that's like been sitting out there for like 3 years that
right.
I completely forgot about. That has like tetanus now.
Yeah,
dude.
Like in grass, he could be like, okay, he could like slowly walk and look. But in the snow, it's like, I don't fucking know where that thing is.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, did that one like set off last spring? I don't remember.
Yeah, and he's 8. He's the brain of an 8-year-old. Okay.
Yeah, but the bear trap he set outside one of the places was like right outside the door. So
right.
It's like
right.
He knows that's if someone goes in there.
Well, that was the only evidence of like traps that we got to see of his outside.
That would have been more interesting if he was like more of like a trapper killer.
Yeah.
I like that. That's actually a really good idea. I like that.
See, movies like this though, they make me appreciate like Hatchet much more because I remember I hated the first Hatchet, and now watching this, I'm like, all right. It came out around the same time. It's a better movie now. So
we'll do 3 eventually too.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that pretty much wraps up this film. I feel like. Do you want to talk about what we're doing next, Wheel? Unless you have any other thoughts.
No, I'm done with this.
You're just moving on. Way to end the wheel on a dud, Alec.
Well, I'll just say, I mean, you chose this fucking one. I didn't.
I know. It was me.
If you like slasher movies so much and you're just like, I don't care about anything aside from it being a slasher movie, watch it. Give it a shot. But if you like slasher films and you're like, I kind of have a little bit of a caliber that I'd like to have it meet, this probably won't meet it. I don't know. I didn't even know this movie existed, so it came and went for me, and I was 16 when this came out, so I feel like this would have been on my radar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Totally.
So, For our new wheel, we're going to be doing a spring of sequels. So it's just going to be a bunch of sequels to movies that we've covered. So yeah, we're going to try and finish out a couple franchises and a bunch of great guests coming back. And yeah, you got anything to say about it?
No, I'm just excited. I like sequels. Some sequels are better than the original, so we'll see what we get. But you want to kick it off? You want to let me spin the wheel?
Yeah.
Let's do it. New wheel. Child's Play 2. Never seen this one.
Nice. I love these movies. I know you're not sold on them, but maybe watching more, you'll like them.
Yeah.
Oh, really quick, I just want to say one last thing about Cold Prey. So, the translation of the Friet Lied or whatever, it actually means open season. But that CGI kids movie Open Season was out in America, so they had to change it to Cold.
Oh my god.
Anyways, okay. So, all right. So, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion today on Cold Prey. And we will see you all next week with a new wheel and Child's Play 2.
Woo!